Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to KGX to the ZTV. Champions League has returned. It has missed us. What is the Champions League without Chelsea Football Club? I'll tell you what it is. It is boring. It is dross. But no worries. We are here. Inject a little bit of excitement back into it. Represent for the pride of London. The only London club to carry the Champions League banner. Matter of fact, been carrying the banner for the Premier League in this competition for far too long, but long may it continue. But yeah, let's get into it. So Chelsea obviously coming off the back of a disappointing 2-2 draw against Brentford, travel the Allianz, also the scene of where we won our first European Champions League, European Cup 2012. Didier Drogba, header descended into extra time. Then the penalty to win it, give us our first star. Soon followed up in 2020 with the second star. But you know what it is. Big one, match day one. Champions League kicked off officially yesterday. There were some pretty good ties. Not the Arsenal tie. Terrible, terrible, terrible watch. Tottenham, terrible, terrible watch. Obviously, two clubs that don't know what it's like to lift the big ears. But we do. And we are here. And from match day one, it's up to us to continue to carry this torch. But yeah, let's get into it. So how are we going to get on, and how are we coming into this one? Watched Enzo's presser today, or from yesterday. Watched Reece James talk a little bit, and to be honest with you, it's pretty whack, if we're being brutally honest, which we always are. Not much updates in terms of starting 11, which I like. Not much updates in terms of injuries. Most of it kind of focused on a lot of Nico Jackson talk about, is he going to know the inner workings of how we play, how we set up? My opinion, no. Don't think he really understood it that well last year when Maresca was here. Nor did he have too much experience sort of in this new kind of setup with Pedro behind the striker, and things like that. But we'll see him. He's on loan. He's technically still a Chelsea player, and obviously, if the obligations are satisfied, then we will collect the money from Bayern. They'll get the player and so forth. But what I'm looking to this one, and it's definitely a tough one, right? We know Bayern's not as strong as they used to be in the past, but they're still the class of the Bundesliga, still the reigning Bundesliga champions. Vincent Kompany is a manager that has plenty of experience going up against Chelsea, plenty of experience in the Champions League with Man City going back to his playing days. And then they've got a squad that's got a lot of experience to begin with, right? Their front three, Elise on the right, not too much Champions League experience, did get some time last year. Harry Kane through the middle, Champions League experience, been to a final. Luis Diaz played in a few Champions Leagues with Liverpool, and even before that, I believe, with Sporting in Portugal. But behind them, Goretzka, plenty of experience. Kimmich, plenty of experience. Upamecano, plenty of experience. Alphonso Davies, plenty of experience, and things like that. So they've got a squad that definitely has more experience than we do. That's not me saying that they are a better squad than us, but that's just stating the facts. They have guys and players that have more Champions League minutes than we do. Our most experienced player is probably Reece James. And for Reece is still relatively, I wouldn't say he's a young player, but he's 24, 25. So, he's not of the age of a Harry Kane, of a Diaz, of a Kimmich, and Manuel Neuer in goal and things like that. So will age and experience play a part into this? I don't know. You still have two relatively young and inexperienced managers, right? We've seen Kompany second year at Bayern, I think a year or two at Burnley before that. Maresca in his third year of full-time managing, second year at Chelsea, managed us to the Conference League last year. So inexperience, you're gonna get some growing pains with both of them. Both of them are pretty strong personalities, pretty firm in their beliefs. So we'll see. We'll see how we get on. I've got an eye on Enzo this year to see how he manages um, being in two proper competitions. Last year, we had the luxury of resting a lot of players for the Conference League into the latter stages and things like that. But this year, it's going to be a delicate balance between a strong 11 in the Premier League and then a strong 11 as well in the Champions League. And maybe, you get to the latter stages of the group phase. Maybe that changes a little bit based off of position and where we are in the table. But for now, I'm expecting to see a strong lineup. He's already confirmed Sanchez will be in goal. Right back, I think it's got to be Reece James. I mean, you rested him on the weekend. He did get some minutes towards the end, but you rested him on the weekend for moments like this. Center backs, I think we'd probably see Tosin and Chalaba. And then left back, we'll probably see Cucurella. Midfields, it's going to be Caicedo. It's going to be Enzo. Right wing, we'll probably see Neto unless he moves Neto to the left. No updates on Esteval. I mean, he was sick on the weekend. Maybe he's not fit enough to go from the start. Maybe he needs a little bit of recovery, but we know we'll see João Pedro. We know we'll probably see Cole Palmer this time from the start. Cole looked pretty good in his cameo appearance. Probably should have had bagged a brace. But yeah, I mean, we're expecting to see a very, very strong lineup. How we go there, I mean, maybe Maresca goes with a 3 and goes right wing of Palmer, left wing of Neto, João Pedro up top, brings in like an Andre Santos or something like that. I don't think Lavia's fit to definitely not fit enough to start. I'm not even sure if he's fit enough to make the bench because they didn't make any. No one really asked him any tough questions, which kind of always irks me that some of the folks that ask these questions in these pressers aren't always they seem to just be getting media clicks and not so much putting out information that will be helpful to fans and things like that. But look, I get it. That's the state of the media these days. It's all about clicks. It's all about engagements. It's all about interactions and things like that. So, like I said, we'll see. We'll see what the lineup comes out. Obviously, we've got a few hours till game time. Super excited. It's been a while since we've been in the Champions League, and what better way to kick it off than a nice trip to the Allianz? How I think we'll fare, I think we'll be okay. I think we've got to manage the moment. The crowd's going to be very, very into it. We know what kind of support they have. We know what kind of quality they have in the front. Good thing is that other than Luis Diaz, none of their players really have that kind of pacing behind. Kane definitely doesn't have it. Elise's more of a ball defeat guy. We'll see Elise up against Cucurella, so Cucurella's got his work cut in. James has got, or even Gusto, if he's on that right, will have their work cut in with a dangerous Luis Diaz. And we've seen Diaz plenty of times before for Liverpool, and we know what kind of player he is. Very streaky, sometimes a little bit inconsistent in front of goal, but he's definitely got the technique, he's got the pace, he's got the trickery to definitely cause some issues, and he seems to have hit the ground running so far at Bayern. So we're going to have a lot to deal with there. Kane, we're going to have to make sure that when he drops deep to kind of get involved and to bring into play, that we don't lose track of him when he's making those late box runs and things like that, because he's a guy that can finish his ass off. Paul's good in the air, good with both feet, can shoot from outside the box, is adept at finding space within inside the box. Just a complete striker, and you could arguably say the best overall and complete striker in world football right now. But I'm not as afraid of going up against a profile like him as I am a guy like Erling Haaland, who's a little bit more pace in behind, can kind of hit you in transition and things like that. I don't think Bayern will cause us too many issues on transition. I do think we'll probably see a little bit of a defensive setup at first, right? Because it's probably more important for us to not lose this one as opposed to go all gun-ho and try to win it. But I'm expecting a draw out of this at least. And like I told one of my buddies last night, I wouldn't be surprised if we went there and we got to win, even though we're not in the best of form. And I think that's mostly down to just some of the injuries and some of the inconsistencies and things like that. Maybe tired legs from the Club World Cup. We've seen some of the other sides that were involved in the Club World Cup have slow starts. Man City, Real Madrid, PSG, even a little bit, especially with the injuries on their front. So we'll see. It's going to be a good one. I know that for sure. Like I said, super, super excited for it. We'll probably hop on somebody's watch along, maybe Jimmy's or somebody's like that. Maybe Lewis. I think Lewis is at the game. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your 11 should be or would be. Let me know what you think the result's going to be. But make sure you hit those likes. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Turn those notifications on. And we'll see you at the next one. Hopefully it's a post-match celebration recap. Peace.